your VIP appointment.
New year, new ride. Start your search online at shopcunis.com.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. What you need to know for every game to make your best bets. Will you fade or will you follow? Welcome to the Weekly Wager. Broadcasting live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios in Milwaukee. Alongside Josh DiMaggio, here's Ben Brust.
It is the Weekly Wager live from Potawatomi Casino Hotel's amazing sportsbook. I'm Ben Brust alongside the aforementioned Josh DiMaggio. Excited to be with you live from the sportsbook. And Joshy, I had a weekend.
Are you saying your picks here?
Picks here also turned into picks at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Wow,
big 5-1. The only game I lost was the Packers.
Yeah, and that was a game that should have won.
Yeah. So I feel pretty good about if the only loss of the super wild card weekend is the Packers, then so be it. Look, Joshy, at this point, after hearing Rob Domofsky on Kyle Brust-Nortman earlier today, and just naturally the feel of the way that this is going, it seems like Matt LaFleur is going to be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers in 2026. How that looks contractually, structurally, I don't know. But if you come to terms with that, and what are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I think the clock's sort of run out on Ed policy and the Packers to make any sort of substantive change. Like, at this point, firing your coach in the process and then applying, reaching out to all these guys and trying to get them hired and into all the interviews, it seems like you're sort of running out of time. I do know there is potential for that to still happen. Negotiations can go either way.
They can go south.
But it sure seems like we're making our way there and we're hammering out our details, because if anything was going to happen, it felt like sort of this afternoon was the drop dead spot for that. I'm fine with it as long as it comes with major staff changes behind Matt LaFleur. I think clearly, I think I've pointed out for most of the year some of the deficiencies Matt LaFleur has had, some of the influence he's had on games, and the being, frankly, the reason the Packers lost a few games on his own with the way he approached the end-of-game situations, timeouts, and some of his play calling, and what's a good way to phrase it? His resistance to changing and adjusting game plans when things clearly weren't working. Obviously, going back to the run game early in the year, which was as bad as we've seen it. But to me, any sort of extension to me doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, it still means he's coaching for his job.
Right.
The Packers have a reserve fund for a reason.
Yeah.
And if he does not live up to the standard that Ed Policy wants heading into next year, well, they have money, and it doesn't count against the salary cap.
Kevin Stefanski was fired this year after getting an extension last year, so it really does mean nothing, and it sort of feels like we're trying to figure out Matt LaFleur is trying to position himself best so he doesn't get fired next year, and the Packers are trying to do the best to leave them openings if they do decide to move on from him before too long. That, to me, is probably where the details and things need to be worked out, because the interesting thing to me is he's immediately like number one hot seat guy.
Right away.
Going into 2026.
And like the regular season, as much as it, like, we'll talk about it and follow it, it doesn't matter.
You're right.
We know his regular season, but we also know his regular season under Jordan Love has not been as good as it was, obviously, in the 3-13 win seasons with Aaron Rodgers. It's going to come down to the playoffs. And I think the fascinating thing for me here is Bisaccia's got to go.
Yep.
Hafley's looking like he's going to get a job because of the amount of openings.
He's on a tour to every opening you can imagine.
And I don't think anyone would be shocked if Adam Stenavich is no longer there. Because like, if he's in this spot, you need something new. You need new ideas. You need somebody to come in and challenge you. So if this is where the Packers are at, then it's going to be hard, because Matt LaFleur's got a lot of buddies that could be really good defensive coordinators, but now I'm seeing Robert Saleh, who is with the 49ers, very good place to be, but he's his best friend, but he's interviewing for 2 head coaching jobs.
Yep.
So all of like the dream scenarios of people that I would want to replace Jeff Hafley, I don't know if it's there.
I think Raheem Morris.
Is
a
a Super Bowl champ with the Rams but why would somebody come to play for Matt LaFleur, or coach with Matt LaFleur, if, as you mentioned, he's on a hotter seat? Like, they're taking their own risk on their career as well.
I think you can also, though, pretty easily sell yourself, hey, Micah Parsons will be back after the first month. You've got all this investment on the front end. You saw what this defense did last year when things were going properly, and the health was where it needed to be. Like, I think there's a pretty easy sell job here. There's also a pretty easy sell job for offensive coordinator. Hey, if you can be the guy who improves what we got going on here, you're instantly a look for head coach. You're instantly a guy who's going to become one of the top interests when teams start kicking around after the season. So I'm not super worried about it. And let's remember, Jeff Hafley was on no one's radar.
No.
There wasn't a single person mentioning Jeff Hafley's name, and then he came in, and I think
he got an interview after his first year, so it's not all tied directly to Micah Parsons.
And I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I do think he obviously has room to grow, but from what we saw from the Packers when things were going right, they went extremely right. There's no excuse for the 25-point fourth quarter against the Bears. But his body of work still dictates his success more than just those happenstance where things really went wrong for them late in games. And to be fair, I mean, they named Micah Parsons the closer, and what couldn't the Packers do?
Close. And there was moments in these one-score games that they did have, and they did blow some leads, but there were some games where Micah Parsons forced a fumble or help get pressure for a bad throw, for a back-end interception, for a game-sealing turnover. So, again, I think the problem that Matt LaFleur is going to run into is as soon as something repeats itself of the last 7 years, everyone is going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you avoid that in a 17-game season. Naturally, who you are over 7 years, like, you can change some things, but you can't change the whole identity of a coach/person.
Yeah, I think if we continue to see the fourth quarter sort of collapses and second half lack of performance, that's when the noise is going to get extremely loud regarding Matt LaFleur. I don't think him being everyone's focus following the Bears game and the loss in the playoffs is necessarily unfair. Clearly, the Packers aren't convinced he's totally the guy of the future, because if he is, it's pretty easy to just sign a guy to a contract and move on with your life.
Give him what he's worth and move on.
We all understand what the terms are. There's precedent set, much like the quarterback. You come in with this amount of achievement and this amount of experience, guess what? You get X amount of dollars somewhere in there, and then we figure out the terms, etc. So to me, I'm most concerned about what it could do if the regular season doesn't go the way we expect next year. And then does it become a lost and wasted season with two guys in their prime? And it's
a double-edged sword right now, because there's the risk if you, again, we're operating under the assumption that he will be back, but in the scenario that he wasn't coming back, who is that guy that gives you the risk but more reward in a short term, because you don't want to waste? And that's where you go towards the more tenured head coaches. And it's not a pool of coaches where, when you talk about Matt LaFleur, if he wasn't the Packers head coach, he'd be top of the list for everyone else, and that speaks volumes to the coaching candidates out there.
Yeah, I do think, because Adam Schefter joined Jen Game and Chewy this morning.
Who's his source, Joshy?
He spoke to somebody that said Matt LaFleur was a top 5 head coach, and I think there's this happens to a lot of Packer fans as well. They confuse or conflate a really good play caller and play designer with a good head coach. As we know, Dan Campbell isn't the most cerebral guy. He's not building the fanciest, highest scoring, highest powered offenses. He's like the CEO guy. He's the mentality guy. He's the guy who leads by example. He sets the tone and dictates all of the things to the team. Matt LaFleur, like, clearly isn't that guy. The Packers have just clearly lacked an edge and lacked a sort of put teams away, put a fork in them, and finish them for a long time.
It scares me when that's a trend because you can't become something you're not with so many years of seeing what it is.
Right. There is, at this point, there is ample example of that being a clear issue. Now, do I think you could find the right offensive coordinator to sort of instill that and lead more and be less of, I mean, no one really knows what Adam Stenavich really even does besides put his foot in his mouth every other week at the podium.
How about the fact that he said Matthew Golden won't really have impact on the postseason? It took Dontavian Wicks and Bo Melton to be out for Matthew Golden to get opportunities and make the most of those opportunities.
Yeah, and then you watch him out there, and it's just clearly obvious he's one of the more talented guys.
You can't tell me that in 17 games you couldn't have got something out of him. I don't care about his timing with Jordan Love.
Right.
I don't care about his learning the playbook or his any of that.
Right.
You find ways to make 4-4 speed, 4-3-4 speed guys with shifty maneuvers get on the field and do something with it.
I mean, do we think
the Packers always talk about how they love like wide receivers that block? How about wide receivers that block for his ass?
Right. The interesting thing there is, like, do you think Tetaroa McMillan was the most polished guy, ran the right routes every single time?
No.
Do you think
He's
Emeka Buka?
talented, and
Right.
Ibuka fell off.
Right. Like, do you think all these rookie wide receivers we've seen that have flourished early in their careers all came in as finished products and were doing everything right? No, but they were helped and allowed to get there and grow and show, hey, maybe I don't hit the right depth on this because I misread the coverage, but guess what? When I do catch the ball, it looks better than anyone else out here.
This is not prisoner of the moment, Josh. The touchdown that Matthew Golden had, Tetaroa McMillan and Emeka Ibuka would not have been able to turn that catch into a touchdown. I've watched them both enough.
Mm-hmm.
They were both on fantasy teams, so naturally, like they have different skill sets. Obviously, Ted has more length and is very athletic and has that downfield. But the way that Matthew Golden caught that ball, made guys miss, broke some tackles, then exploded and cut at the end to get to the goal line. Who has that on the Green Bay Packers?
The closest thing you could get is Jaden Reed, who we lost for most of the year, and then
what an opportunity to be able to use somebody like him to showcase those skills.
Right,
and that's the coaching malpractice that I struggle with.
Yeah, and the one thing that stuck out as soon as Tucker Kraft went down during the season was the Packers' inability to create yards after the catch. Well, I think I found our guy. It seems like that guy had an opportunity to do it, and the Packers seemingly put him in a role that they felt really comfortable with, which was not a ton of, we have a play for Matthew Golden, we're going to make sure we get him the ball. It was, he sort of runs deep routes, and then we'll try little screens every so often. Now, this screen worked, which probably tells you they should have kept going to that because he has such the skill to break tackles, make guys miss, all that. But I do think that counts against Matt LaFleur. You're not getting the best out of the guys that you have. You're stunting the growth of some of these guys, and obviously more of what we saw from Matthew Golden throughout the middle part of the season would have probably helped them go a long way.
There's a lot of things you look back on. And again, I think it's interesting from a Hafley standpoint and a LaFleur standpoint. 21-3 has nothing to do with Micah Parsons, with Tucker Kraft, with Devontae Wyatt. If you're up 21-3 with the roster that they had in that game, you win that game 100 times out of 100 based off what you showed in the first half.
Right.
And based off the fact that you have seen them 2 prior times come back against you. You have to be able to learn. And obviously, I would say game 1 against the Bears, a little bit different. You 3 and out on the first drive of the second half.
Yeah.
The Bears then they're not horrible. They did utilize their offensive line run game.
Right.
Then you scored quick, so your defense went out there quick. So regardless, that flow is different. Game 2 was a debacle in which you didn't do all the right things, and then to have it happen tenfold in a playoff game, again, is just unacceptable. And you can't point to, well, the season derailed when Micah Parsons, Tucker Kraft, Devontae Wyatt, and all the injuries happened, because they were in in the middle of winning a playoff game as a 7 seed again.
Yes.
The only 7 seed to win a playoff game is the Green Bay Packers, and it could have been them twice, and that is on Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, and the thing is, Matt LaFleur spoke to it at his press conference. Out of half, the Chicago Bears changed their approach on defense. They were bringing a lot more pressure on the edge. Oof. They had found formations that they were looking for, and the offensive line didn't hold up its end of the donkey. But the problem is, if it's not working, you got to find a solution. You got to be able to pivot, and he didn't pivot. They didn't move the ball again until late or middle way into the fourth quarter, where the offense looked. They went. Did they go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out?
I don't think it was 3 and outs, but I know they punted 4 times.
Yeah, and that to me is, it's pretty clear, hey, our offensive line is struggling here. Why don't we go with some of our jumbo package and try and pass out of it?
This one's going to hurt you.
Uh-oh.
It's not going to hurt you. It's just an interesting one that I haven't seen, Joshy. Matt LaFleur's Brandon Staley 2.0.
I don't think he's quite that bad.
No, he's not. But the fact that you can make an argument that he's had moments that put him in that category, I think, is what we're ultimately having in conversation about.
I'm leaning towards, and honestly, high-end success, Marty Schottenheimer had more, but I think he's just a Marty Schottenheimer type of level of talent where he's good. He can get you wins in the regular season. He knows how to call an offense. He knows how to get things going during the regular season. And then you meet the playoffs, and for whatever reason, things fall apart.
Well, we'll continue to dive in as Matt LaFleur is looking like he will be the head coach in 2026. You never know what's going to happen in
How
the
fun would it be if
midst
he
of
wasn't?
Again, who's the guy?
I'm not super concerned about who's the guy just because I believe in the Packers' ability to hire the right guy. The only time they've hired the wrong guy was Ray Rhodes, and that was 1 year, and then we were done.
Fixed it, yeah.
Right. We see it happen a lot where...
It's a big moment for Ed Policy, man.
Yes, where the names you initially hear, and then Matt LaFleur was the last option.
He had the 28th ranked offense in Tennessee before he became the Packers head coach.
And Todd Monken thought he had the job, and next thing you know, it's Matt LaFleur, and the Packers look like he's a good head coach. I just don't know if we've seen as far as he can take them, and that to me is the concern.
Well, we'll keep diving in on the Weekly Wager live from the amazing Potawatomi Casino Hotel and their sportsbook. Pretzel time. We'll be back with you shortly.
Pretzel time.
More bets coming up. This is the Weekly Wager on 94.5 ESPN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344. 800-568-3344.
The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Here's the only question that counts. Everything else is crap. Will Ed Policy be able to walk out on the field with Matt LaFleur as the head coach?
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
It could get worse, but can you put that guy in charge of the team and give him an extension?
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property, it's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal & Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof, it's where life happens. At Grimal & Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
Big ideas deserve a big story and the right audience. At Saturn Lounge, we bring your marketing to life with branding, websites, digital marketing, and video storytelling that stands out from the crowd. Whether it's a TV spot, a campaign, or content built to connect, Saturn Lounge is where strategy meets creativity. From the first spark of an idea to the final cut, we're here to make your message shine across every platform. Ready to make your marketing a success? Step into the spotlight with Saturn Lounge, your launch pad for bigger, better marketing. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
This is the Weekly Wager live from Potawatomi Sportsbook on 94.5 ESPN and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It is the Weekly Wager live at Potawatomi Casino Hotel's amazing sportsbook with their amazing team always being great to us. Tons of self-service kiosks, an amazing video wall for everything you need. You can get us on the Carbos Talking text line if you'd like at 800-990-3776, as well as YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Ben Bruss next to Josh DiMaggio. Look, Joshy, I think the interesting part of this as well is I think the Packers and Ed Policy, with the investment that they made with Micah Parsons, and obviously this being in 2026 coming up, the third year of Jordan Love's contract, it also made it tough from a timing standpoint to bring in something completely new, a head coach, an OC, a coordinator, a new culture, because then, you're is that a lost year? It's so hard. Right. You don't win Super Bowls. There's 3 coaches that ever won a Super Bowl in their first year, and if the goal is Super Bowl and you think you're still close on the precipice with the talent that you have, maybe the talent has to outdo what the coach can do in the playoffs in terms of decision making. But that, I think, played a major factor as well into the timing of all this, because there was no home run.
Yes,
retread, so to speak, that isn't a retread because you would have wanted somebody. I like the word retread because a retread is someone you get from a mediocre franchise. The Packers wouldn't take a retread. They would only take an upgrade.
Had this happened last year and Ben Johnson was part of it, I think we're probably having a different conversation.
With Mark Murphy, then?
I'm saying as they are now. I don't know with Mark Murphy. I'm trying to predict what he's going to do.
That's an unfair question from me to you.
Yeah. With the little we know about Ed Policy and sort of what we're learning as they do these negotiations, the Packers as a franchise clearly likes the offensive play caller to be the head coach and the offensive-minded guy to run the team. That's clearly a formula that's worked for them for quite some time now. And any of the defensive guys or the more CEO types, Harbaugh's a special teams guy who I don't actually think would be that great of a hire for the Green Bay Packers at this point and where they are.
Sounds like he's going to the Giants.
Yeah. Ricky Scoop's got it.
Yep.
It does seem that's the interesting rub to me and why I can't totally go DEFCON. Jeez, my voice. DEFCON 9.
Can we get this guy a water, please?
Yeah, where's the water in this place? Why we can't do that is because you do have a window here. This is a short window of probably the next 2 years where there's truly that Super Bowl window lining up both Jordan Love and Michael Parsons. That doesn't mean you can't extend it and open up a new one and figure out other options from there. It's just this is sort of what it is. So to rip a guy out, a head coach, maybe bring in new style of offense, it probably would stay along the Shanahan, McVay, all that, just because that's sort of the flavor of what everyone's going to right now. If that were the case, I can understand, it doesn't make a ton of sense. We do think we have these guys. We'll probably be able to resign them. And if that time comes, we might just rip off the Band-Aid next year and start all over. Any sort of extension to me guarantees nothing to Matt LaFleur.
I think this is actually interesting. I've never thought of this dynamic. Petey Pablo, shout out. My thing is, I think you need to either have a head coach or your quarterback, or both be killers, he says, from a mindset standpoint. And it's clear that neither Love nor LaFleur have that mindset. And I've never really thought of it from a coach-quarterback perspective, but it's a conversation that everyone's having about the toughness and the culture, because that's a part of this as well. Even bringing in new coordinators with new ideas, I don't think changes the culture of who Matt LaFleur is, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, and I don't think it's from a head coach, it's an okay expectation. From a player is just a player. And some guys have that mentality of the vocal leader, the guy's going to get in your face, scream at you, and get everyone on the same page. That's not Jordan's thing. I think he speaks largely by his play.
And I think a lot of people project their own thoughts onto Jordan. He needs to get after him.
Yeah.
But
it would be disingenuous.
That's the thing. It would be disingenuous. And I think what makes Jordan a really good quarterback in the NFL is he is who he is. He's consistent. He's steady. He will move on from a mistake very quickly. And, you have to take that.
I mean, it was notable after Jaden Reed dropped what could have been one of the game-winning plays. That was the most demonstrative we've ever seen. And he turned his back and, yelled. He didn't point, he didn't scream, he didn't look for Jaden Reed. Yeah, he just took out his frustration and moved on with it. And then ripped a great pass to Christian Watson after that.
Who didn't complete his route and went up with one hand, which, by the way, I actually think the Christian Watson one might be even, equal to Jaden Reed.
He said he slowed down that window, which I don't totally disagree with.
He was scared to get hit.
He got a little bit of alligator on us. He kind of just threw.
You can't have that in that moment, man.
Right. Under 30 seconds at that point. The end zone's right there.
If you get hurt again, but it leads to a win, nobody cares.
Right.
No one will be like, oh, Christian Watson's hurt again. They'll be like, hey, Christian Watson laid it on the line for the Green Bay Packers.
Watching that all 22, it sure looked like the ball was right in the catch radius, and it was a little high, but he had to get it over the linebacker's head.
TV broadcast didn't look like it was catchable. When you see it from a different angle, it definitely was. It was a great throw.
Yes.
He put it in the only spot that Christian Watson could have made the play.
Yeah, and that to me is frustrating. But with Matt LaFleur, what's going to be the worst outcome is if you extend him, it goes the same way, and then you have to reboot, and then you've got 1 year in that window, that Super Bowl window. Then you're looking at re-signing all these people, refiguring out the roster, and sort of starting anew a year early and hoping you can build yourself a new Super Bowl window with a new coach and trying to figure out all of those details. Anything short of an NFC Championship appearance, Matt LaFleur still might get fired.
I agree. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That's the crazy part about it.
And I think if he makes the NFC Championship game and they blow a lead and they have a lead, I think he might be gone then still.
If it's the same script.
Right. Yes, we know you made it this far, but you lost the way we told you have to stop losing.
It is a Jason Wildeism, but make different mistakes.
Yes.
And Matt LaFleur is really bad at it.
Uh-huh.
He likes making the same mistakes.
He makes the same ones. And speaking of Jason Wilde, we can reference another person. There's a homerism. You could be anything, you just can't be embarrassing. And I think what we saw on Saturday was embarrassing. I think the reaction we've seen from all the Bears fans, I think the reaction from the fans and the players and the way they talked about it, everyone was embarrassed in that outcome. You were a better team, you had a big lead, and then you did what we saw you do 3 weeks previous?
And we were all talking about what is great data to use to project what would be an outcome in the playoff game, which is, yes, they did outplay the Bears for 57 minutes, and the Bears finished the game, and they won in a 60-minute game. But we took the data points, and we said, all right, we've seen what they're able to do in 2 games. I believe the edge is to the Packers. we get that, and then we lose all leverage in terms of anyone who was talking crap, because there's like, you could say after the second game that they played, oh well, we dominated them, and we let them get away with it, and that's fine. They could be like, oh, it's a 60-minute game, we own you. Now it's just like you got to sit there with your hands under your under your pants. You're just like, what the heck? I can't. What am I supposed to say?
It's become a trend, and that's always a bad thing when the trend is a losing trend and a losing habit, and a habit of looking utterly lost and confused in the second half. That's the type of thing that you just can't have happen.
Well, it is the weekly wager, and what we love to do here is dive deeper into some Super Bowl odds. Joshy, the one that I think, at least the one that we both liked, is still alive. We liked Jacksonville from a value play. There was one other I think we talked about, but there's one that we were aligned on for sure, and that was the Houston Texans.
Yep.
Because I loved that defense, and we both knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to have a hell of a night against those guys up front and in the middle and everywhere, because they are fast, they are violent, and they are vicious.
It looks like that defense has more players than you're allowed on defense.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere and physical.
And
they look like speed with physical.
They look rabid. They're all flying at the ball at one point.
And they're angry.
Yeah.
It's like a werewolf on each position. Just can't turn it off. So we'll run through the futures for the Super Bowl, and then after a 5-1 week from me in Super Wildcard Weekend, I got a healthy advantage. 35-25 against the spread this football season on our picks. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop now. We will get to the futures and our picks and any of the conversation you have on the Carbos Talking text line and YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee coming up next on the Weekly Wager live from Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
We're back talking bets after this on the Weekly Wager on 94.5 ESPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Let's go! You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Owe the IRS $10,000 or more in business or personal back taxes? Call the Tax Doctor now. Learn how to pay the IRS less. 800-430-3062. 800-430-3062.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night Show for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
You're listening to the Weekly Wager live from Potawatomi Sportsbook on 94.5 ESPN and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
I do want to give the matchups for context of looking at futures. This is important. If you look at the futures bets, you want to look at who you think is going to win straight up. I mean, Buffalo at Denver is a pick'em, so that's straight up. The Niners are plus 7.5 on the road against Seattle. It's a recent game that they played, very similar line. The Texans are plus 3 on the road against the Patriots, and the Rams are minus 3.5 in a very, very cold weather game in Chicago. That then moves us to the Super Bowl odds, and I still can't for the life of me figure out how the Seahawks are plus 280. Again, they what were they, plus 275 last week, I want to say.
Yeah.
With the bye, obviously that has an impact. The Broncos with the AFC bye are plus 700. So in order, Seahawks plus 280, Rams plus 320, Bills plus 575, Patriots plus 600, Broncos plus 700, Texans plus 850, Bears plus 1,400, and the Niners plus 2,000.
I'm not.
What stands out to Josh DiMaggio? Is it's Ben Brush, Josh DiMaggio here on the Weekly Wager from the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I'm not backing down from Houston Texans plus 850 at this point. I think their game against the Patriots is probably one of the more favorable options for them to run into, just because that team is so inexperienced. Drake May is so young. It's sort of his first year as one of the guys we're considering like a true franchise building block.
So you'd rather be on the road in Foxborough versus on the road in whatever they call it in Denver, Mile High.
Mile High, whatever the sponsor of Mile High is.
Yes,
now.
it's changing.
Yes, I would. I
just think they would have beat Bo Nix to shreds.
I mean, that's possible, certainly. I just think advancing one more game is the most important thing. And then letting those two teams figure out what they're going to do amongst themselves. Like, I do think the best team to face for them is probably the Patriots, just because it's that unquantifiable thing, and we see it happen every single year, where the young, hot team, the team that's come in and sort of exceeded expectations, they do what we all expect and they lay an egg, and the team that has the better defense, the more steady team, the guys with a little bit of, because I mean, CJ Stroud's been in the playoffs plenty. They've had guys now who have multiple years of playoff experience. I think that's a really big advantage for them. Now, there's not a ton of experience other than Josh Allen for either Bo Nix on that side, but to me, I just love that plus 850 there. The one I now am sort of trying to convince myself into is what about the 49ers?
Thank you. I was waiting for you to say it.
What about the 49ers?
The idea that they can't, like, again, their defense is has not been great.
Right.
Robert Saleh at least is, like, can put a game plan together. Sam Darnold is the quarterback.
Right.
I know Kittle's out, but they've been doing this all year. If they win at plus 2,000, you're telling me they play the Rams, who they're familiar with, or the Bears.
Right.
And then you can hedge at plus 2,000 in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, that's the one I've been sort of keeping
I'm staring at. I'm like, the Bears at plus 1,400 over the Niners at plus 2,000? I know there's a matchup thing here.
Right.
With the
game
against the Seahawks.
You're right. There's the recent game that we saw where the Seahawks looked like a
very dominant team.
Yes, they looked pretty clearly better. But
it's you're telling me Kyle Shanahan here?
Right.
Like,
and I've turned
pull the rabbit out of the hat?
I've turned a corner on Brock Purdy. I think he's just plainly good at this point.
I agree.
Like, I don't think there's really much debate to that. I do think the whole Brock Purdy MVP thing was a little inflated, but this version of Brock Purdy, now I know they lost Kittle, and he is like one of those force multiplier engine type players, but I mean, they lost him pretty early, and they still played pretty damn well. I do think Jake Tungus has been pretty good.
Another thing I mentioned as I was listening to Gabe Neitzel on ESPN radio, when Kittle went out, I was like, they were debating what the Niners should do. Should they be aggressive late in the half? I was like, Tungus has been no slouch.
Right. And certainly there's a big downgrade there because Kittle, I still think, even as he's been injured, is still one of the best all-around tight ends in all the NFL. But you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Juwan Jennings. Demarcus Robinson, when asked to play, has just simply shown up and played. We saw him do it with Mac Jones. We saw him step up last week in pretty big spots. Like, their recipe for success, and it's not the most efficient thing. Christian McCaffrey is certainly not the explosive guy he used to be, but they create so much yardage. They continue to keep drives alive because they just throw him the ball 8 or 9 times. He gets 8 or 9 yards, and then they move the chains, and then they have more opportunities for those guys to.
They cannot run the football.
No, they can't.
That's the hard part. Like as we go through these Super Bowl odds.
Did Trent Williams play last week?
He did not.
Do we know if he's going to be back?
I mean, it's been 2 or 3 weeks now since that hamstring injury.
Yeah.
They run to the left side when he's in, and they can at least get something out of it. Right now, they're getting nothing out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and they're like, if you look at their record with Trent Williams or without Trent Williams, it's like appalling how much better they are when he's on the field. You wouldn't think one player makes that much of a difference, but he's managed to be that. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like Brock Purdy, and I just like what they've got going. And the defense, certainly at times, they made Phillip Rivers looked like he was like 28 again for a game until they pulled away in that one. But since then, I thought they've been more than fine. Like, they've done good enough.
Well, I think a lot of what sticks out is that back and forth 49ers-Bears game.
Yes.
Where it was whoever didn't score lost.
Right.
But again, in the playoffs, things are different.
And I also think, and maybe we're just not giving enough credit to the Seahawks, and that might be where this sort of talk falls apart.
Our biases toward Sam Darnold will either be very profitable for us, or it will be our demise.
It'll be the reason ultimately that sinks us. Because if there was a dominant team here, or a Patrick Mahomes, or the Niners at this point last season, we all sort of said, uh-oh, like, this seems to be going the way we all know it's going.
That's why I look at plus 2,000 and you look at the teams and nobody's dominant. I was like, the Niners can't be that far. I know they just played, but they're not that far off from an odds perspective. That's 10x the odds.
Right, and they've quietly been just extremely good all year. And I think the division and the noise from the other teams has sort of taken away what has been impressive for them. And certainly the injuries are extremely real. Like, Fred Warner is a dominant player. Nick Bosa is a dominant player. But it seems that as long as it doesn't get out of hand against them, they can win any single game. Like, any one-score game, I do not want to see that offense trotting onto the field, because they're going to be able to take the lead back, or push that lead even further if they need to.
Now I'm thinking to myself, if I took a $100 bill and I had to take 3 futures, if I put $25 on the 49ers, I'm getting $500.
Yep.
And then if I took another NFC team in the different game that I believe will win, who would you go with? See if we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Exactly, Rams. So then I would take, we'll say $35 on the Rams, see what that payout is. I accidentally exited the 49ers, but this will work out from a good purpose here. We have the Rams at $35 as a future. That's to win $112. So again, this is where it gets tricky. You'd have to probably go $50 on the Rams to win $160. You have $500 potential, and then you pick your AFC team that you love. And I think if you really do believe in the Texans, you go Rams, Texans, and Niners, and you have an NFC. One of those 2 NFC teams I think are going to make it to the Super Bowl. And if the Rams and the Niners are playing each other in the NFC Championship game, you're guaranteed a hedge opportunity if you want it. So
We got a little arbitrage going on.
I know, but this is why we're doing it, because I think there's an opportunity here. It's just hard for me to do it on the Texans for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's the one.
Because of C.J. Stroud. I love their defense, but can C.J. Stroud be a Joe Flacco?
He fumbled, 3 times in that game? Jeez. That's the one that's the scariest to me, because you sort of need a higher odds there with the way you're distributing your money as picking the second favorite, the long shot. Like, you would need a little bit larger odds than one of those top teams. Like, I mean, and maybe we're overthinking. Maybe it's the Broncos. And maybe you have an ability to, because they're plus 700?
Yep.
Like, maybe that's the bet to make?
Yeah, versus the Texans, because, they're at home. And
you are dropping your odds a bit, but it's still a long enough shot where a smaller bet on that can be quite profitable.
All right, let's run through the games coming up next on the Weekly Wager. Ben, 35-25. Josh DiMaggio, according to Chris Larson, 27-33 on the year. We have... Man, it's so sad to just look at this now.
What are you trying to figure out how many games are left?
4 games remaining.
4 games this week.
2 games, 1 game. It's just sad. I'm just saying I'm sad. 4 games to go through coming up next on the Weekly Wager.
More bets coming up. This is the Weekly Wager on 94.5 ESPN.
WMLW is the broadcast home of the Milwaukee Bucks. With 8 select games you can watch for free on broadcast channel 49.1. Our next game is against Wemby and the Spurs. Thursday night at 6:30 on WMLW.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
This is the Weekly Wager live from Potawatomi Sportsbook on 94.5 ESPN and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Last week, Ben Brust was 5-1. My co-host here on the Weekly Wager, Josh DiMaggio.
I can't believe I bet the Eagles. What was I thinking?
I don't know how you got there.
I've been bullish on the Niners like all year.
It was a gift you gave me. 2-4 was Josh DiMaggio. So we move on. 35-25 are the standings, and then 27-33. 4 games left. We start on Saturday at 3:30. Broncos at home against the Bills. It's straight up. It's a pick 'em. Who you got winning?
This one's... I hate this game.
I love when you say that.
Because I don't really believe in either of these teams fully. The only thing I fully believe in is Josh Allen. I think I just have to pick Josh. Oh, sorry. I think I just have to pick Josh Allen.
I'm picking Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I don't trust Bo Nix. I know Denver's defense is good, but Superman can beat anybody.
Yeah,
and it's not Patrick Mahomes. It's not the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm such a Bo Nix doubter.
I actually believe in Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence in the way that offense was playing more than I believe in Bo Nix in that offense.
Yeah, the one thing is the defense. Even though I think that defense has shown a lot of weaknesses here. I mean, the Packers were taking it to them for most of that game.
For the first half.
And then there's been a few other games where they've really allowed teams to score points. Now, it's different because the Bills are Josh Allen, and then maybe James Cook has some big runs. But he is so much the engine and so much the effort because their pass catchers are. Their pass catchers remind me of a slightly upgraded
2022 version of the Packers?
Yes, where you're looking at these guys going, can someone just do something? Why is Brandon Cooks your best option right now?
Khalil Shakir caught like 10 passes for 7 yards per catch.
Yeah. Which he hadn't done for weeks. He was like a 2-3 catch guy for weeks.
This is the interesting part. I did want to confirm this. So, the Jaguars over the course of the season were number 1 in rushing defense. Number 2 is the Broncos. And as much as I love James Cook, it's hard to get going against both these defenses from a run game. James Cook is awesome. I think he's one of the best backs in the league. Probably underrated. But give me Josh Allen. I don't care about the metrics.
Yeah.
It was either going to go one of which way. He was going to screw it up in week 1, but now that he's got life and he can taste it, he's like, I'm going to do anything.
I think if the Bills are playing either of the Texans or Patriots, I pick both the Texans and Patriots in those games. I
don't know if I pick the Texans. I pick the Patriots because they have the ability to keep up from a scoring standpoint.
Yeah. There's just something about that Bills team that doesn't feel right, even though the road has seemingly been cleared for them.
Yeah, the team's not like
it's not that good.
A full team. Niners at Seattle. I don't care. I'm Shanahan all the way. I know the last matchup was ugly. I trust him to make this a competitive game in the playoffs. This is way too many points. I am taking the points plus 7.5 for the Niners.
It's technically short rest for the Niners, but the travel isn't that far. Being on the road, it is a place where people don't really love to play, but 7.5 is a lot of points for two teams that I think are probably closer than that.
Than what the spread indicates.
Right. I wouldn't even mind just putting a little on the money line here and just seeing what happens.
All right, so we're 2 for 2 right now, Bills and Niners. I struggle with this one.
Yes.
Texans, Patriots. This is a struggle. Texans +3 on the road at the Patriots in Foxborough.
I'm going to take the Texans. I've hem and hawed it. I'm a big Drake May guy. I'm very impressed with what Vrabel has done. But I've sort of thought of them all year as the team that is going to be impressive, but is going to have sort of one of those, this is different. Things are different now. And if there's going to be a team that's going to wrangle Drake May, it's got to be the Texans.
I think where I am going to go is actually the Patriots. Because I still believe that their defense, after watching C.J. Stroud, I don't have a ton of confidence. Nico Collins as well.
Do we know what his status is?
They're on a short week because they were a Monday Night Football game. I know it's Sunday, but it's still a short week. So,
yeah, Nico Collins' health would matter a little bit.
A little bit. Not a lot. Not a lot. But as the margins get thinner, I will look at those individual players a little bit more.
He's the type of talent that one big play from him
could make a play.
Right.
Exactly.
Turn the whole game.
Like if Christian Gonzalez is on Jaden Higgins the whole game, then like it's just like
Christian Kirk. You got 2 weeks in a row. Yeah.
Don't think so. I'm gonna go with the Patriots because I know like Drake May is also a lot more mobile.
Yes.
Than one Aaron Rodgers. So I'm good with me switching to what I thought I was going to do, going with the Patriots because of the new evidence in front of me.
I mean, Drake May is like 85% Josh Allen. Drake May's a big boy.
He's a big guy.
Yeah.
He can move too.
Yeah.
Doesn't put his body in harm's way as much as Josh did early in his career. And obviously more polished in terms of decision-making early in his year. But he's not Superman yet. I struggle with this one too, Joshy. I'm not going to lie.
I'm taking the Rams.
-3.5 on the road in the 0-degree wind chill. Matt Stafford, all the numbers of him outside.
I just think the Rams are just like
their defense is so much better than the Packers.
So much better. Their offense is one of the best. It's Matthew Stafford.
Get Puka the ball against that. Like there's going to be opportunities for him to get yards after
Devontae
catch.
Adams second week back. Kyron Williams, who's not
whoever
the
it is,
player,
but Blake Corum is also effective, and the Bears don't have run defense. Does the Stafford interception game happen? That's the only thing I will say. Is it the Stafford
he does
double-digit turnover game against the opportunistic Bears, and somehow they're in an NFC Championship game, and we all are just like, what the hell?
I don't think that happens. The Rams are just too good. I thought all year they were the best team in the NFL, and they've had their ups and downs. For whatever reason, they love to play great to start. They do nothing in the middle of the game and let teams back, and then they finish them. Yeah, and that's usually
Colby Parkinson making a crazy catch, or Higbee.
So we've got two teams here that we know can finish. I'm going to take the better quarterback, and I'm going to take the better roster overall.
Defense.
Right. Better head coach.
I'm not debating that part. I'm just debating the game. I'm going to go with the Rams. Part of me wanted to just be different, but like at the end of the day, I like their defense. I think they can put together a plan with their speed to also contain Caleb. And if he does end up having to be in these third and mediums, they will collapse.
Betting on the Bears here feels like you're watching the game in the third quarter and you're going, why the hell did I think they'd keep it close? Why did I try and get cute and be different? Like, obviously Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are going to be able to put away a team that doesn't play for 3 quarters.
And they don't have a good defense. And we know that.
So bad.
All right, Rams it is. So we're both on the Bills. We're both on the Niners. I got the Patriots. You got the Texans. And we are both on the Rams. It's good. The more picks you have that are aligned with me, the better a chance it is for you getting dubs.
I could care less the difference in our record. I want to get as close to 500 or over as humanly possible.
You've made that very clear. I actually care a lot about your record versus mine, just because I'm doing really well against you. Can hold that one over you forever. That is the Weekly Wager. If you missed any of the show, go back on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. You can go to the ESPN Wisconsin app. We're at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. There's video walls. There's kiosks. Sunday, February 8th for the big game. Tons of specials. Make sure you come here. Reserve seating. 3 different bars to watch from. They always take care of anyone who comes for a major event. So for Ben Bruss, Josh DiMaggio, and Chris Larson, who has ran the show for us, you will have Thanalysis with a special guest, David Gruber. One call, that's all. Coming up in 2 minutes on 94.5 ESPN.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.